Good morning. Happy Monday. In case you missed Fridays, no, I guess I did it Saturday morning. Emily was here and we had lunch together on Friday afternoon. So I did that Facebook Live on Saturday morning. But with that, I made a couple of cards using the You're a Peach suite and also the Basic Borders dies. So some pretty cards there. Here's another one. This is my sample. And in the video, I showed people how to add additional colors to your stamps using the sponge daubers. And we sponged ink directly onto the red rubber stamp. And this card is basically the same, but I just changed up my colors of the peaches. And that's a fun technique to do. So please check that out. In addition, we made these two cards as well. Again, using the Basic Borders dies. The interesting thing here, though, that I want to point out is you can see that the stitching and the shape is a little bit different on both of these, but they were both cut from the same Basic Border die, the same one, and you can see here how they fit together. So it's really just a matter of which way you turn that die to get the different edge. And of course, there's, I want to say, 5 other dies in that die collection. Good morning, Karen. I'm happy you're here. Mary Lou, thanks for sharing. Today, I'm going to be featuring another new product suite called Bloom Where You're Planted. I love it. It's got this fabulous stamp set and coordinating dies. And then it's got some absolutely glorious designer series paper in there. And an additional product with that suite, coordinating with that suite, is, you can grab it here, the paper Lattice. And I think, I haven't worked with these yet, but I'm excited. It almost looks like wood, as if you'd have a wood lattice in your yard. And it's colored on both sides. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. If you have a great idea, share it. But something I want to work with this coming week. And of course, you know I love designer series paper, so I have to show you this. Aren't these pretty? All these different potted plants. And then the back side of each of these sheets has what I call like a wall or background print to it. You can cut out these 3 pots with some of the dies, and then another small print on the back. This almost looks like wallpaper to me, and a brick pattern on the back. On this page, you can cut out 1, 2, 3, these 3 images. So that's kind of fun. Die cut them with the pots that you die cut from the other sheet. And then of course, any of these could be fussy cut, but it just makes a pretty background as well. A wood grain pattern on the back. Small bits of greenery, and they did pull in our new evening evergreen designers or color, or evening evergreen color, one of our new in colors. I love this brick pattern. This is just very eye-catching to me. And then here's one of those sheets that you can cut 6 inches down the center, and then you can cut the opposite direction to make quick and easy cards. And then that one on the back, which kind of looks like a cement to me. So let's get started. Today is a fun fold project, and we're just going to jump in and start making the card. And then when I'm finished making this with you, I'll show you 2 others I've made as well. And then I have 2 announcements at the very end. All right, so in here, I'm starting with a piece of Just Jade cardstock. It can be any color that coordinates with the designer series paper you use. This measures 5.5 by 12 inches. 5.5 by 12 inches. And you're going to score at 1, oops, and I just cut that, so let me grab another piece. I was doing that for the sake of time and left that scoring blade in the wrong place. Okay, 5.5 by 12 inches. And then I'm going to score at 1 3/4, 4 3/4, and 7 3/4. Now with my bone folder, I'm going to burnish each of those score lines. And as I'm folding, you've got 3 different folds here. As I'm folding, I'm just folding back and forth like accordion style. And this is my card base. The small flap will be on the left and the large base will be to your right. So now I have pre-cut a piece of designer series paper. This is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And I'm putting this here for my background. I then cut a piece of 5 1/4 by 2 3/4 inch basic white, or you can use any neutral. And I'm not going to adhere it just yet because I might be stamping on it. So I'll just set it here for now. I've got a piece of designer series paper that I've cut also at 5 1/4 by 2 3/4 inches. And I'm putting that on this second panel from the left. And then I have a piece of 1 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. So they're all the same height, 5 1/4. About 1 1/2, 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and 4 inches wide. And of course, when I write up my blog post about this later this week, I'll have all the dimensions listed on that blog post. But of course, you can come back to these videos anytime. So, you know what, just so you can see, I'm just going to put a teeny tiny bit of adhesive in the middle. That way, if I can add more adhesive later, but easily pull it off for stamping. So this is what I have. Okay, when you adhere that narrow piece of designer series paper, you want to make sure to fold this over because everything else goes on this side, but fold this over so it's on that front flap when you close the card. Now it's time for us to do some stamping and die cutting. I'm just going to, here you can see a top view. And I'm just going to set this over here out of the way for now. I've got some basic white cardstock. And remember that my mat has a little bit of a cushion to it. So I don't need to use my Stampin' Pierce mat with my photopolymer stamp set. But if you at home should have either the Stampin' Pierce mat underneath or even the rubber mat from the Stamparatus. Another thing you can use if you have it is our silicone mat. That has just enough also. This is about the same, the equivalent as the mat I use. But either way, when you're working with photopolymer. Make sure you have something with a little bit of give underneath. My first choice for you would be the Stampin' Pierce mat. It's one of the best $5 you'll ever spend when you're working with photopolymer stamps. So now I want to just stamp and die cut some of these pots and the greenery that goes in them. And I think I'm going to start with, and by the way, don't you love this new feature of our stamp cases? They have printed the stamp images on the back of that stamp case insert. So now after I use these, I'm just going to stick them right to my case, and they're always there. I don't have to deal with any of these plastic pieces anymore. But let me get started here. I'm just going to grab a bunch of different blocks. I do have multiples just because of being a demonstrator and having classes and such. And I'm just going to put the little pot stamps that I'm going to use on my clear blocks. Good morning, Sue. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Marion. And then I've got different plant or leaf or greenery stamps, I'll say. And so I'll pull out some of those and add those to the blocks as well. Let's see here. Let's, I wonder how that would be. You can even layer these. That's the fun thing. You can even layer some of these. Not sure what I want to do here. I think I'll go with my first thought on these. Okay, so for something like this, when I know I'm using lots of various stamps, I kind of like to pull out the different stamps and get them on my blocks right away. So now I need some colors. I'm just pulling some colors that go with this product suite. So I'm pulling Cajun Craze, Cinnamon Cider. I've got several greens here. Garden Green, Just Jade, and this is Evening Evergreen. I haven't put my label from the back on it yet. So I think I'll start by stamping my flower pots first. Now, well, that'll be the next step I'll tell you about. Now I am going to be die cutting these. So as I stamp them, I want to be sure that I'm leaving enough space in between. And how about, I'll use Cinnamon Cider for this one. So Cajun Craze, Cinnamon Cider, and I'm going to use, I might use a neutral. What was that one? Gray Granite. I think I'll use Gray Granite for one as well. This is also a featured color in the Designer Series paper, but just change it up a little bit. And actually, I'm not sure. I might want a little more color. So I'm going to put, make one of these Just Jade. You could make it very eclectic by doing lots of different bright colors. You know, it can be whatever you want it to be. No right or wrong. Now next, I want to stamp the greenery that I'm going to put in each of these. So I'm going to start with this one. This is the largest one. Now I'm not going to worry about matching it up to the pot because this will also be die cut. I just want to make sure I have enough room to die cut. each of these. So just make sure you leave enough spacing between your stamped images. And then this one is Evening Evergreen. I might use that with this. And I'm also going to do Evening Evergreen here. And then for this one, I think I will go with watch what I do with this. We're going to see if this works. I'm going to experiment a little bit. And I've got the Cajun Craze, but I'm going to wipe this off or use my Simply Chamois to clean off this ink. And then I'm going to add, where is it here? Oh, I've got so many stamps out. It's crazy. You know what? I'll just use the same one. Then I'm going to add some Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to try this out on the back first and see how I like it. If you're experimenting with more than one color, this might be something you want to do. You could also add some streaks of green in there with your markers and such. Oh, Marion, great idea to save the clear plastic to make shaker cards or window cards. That's a great idea. Might as well repurpose, right? So what did I say? This one. I'm just going to stamp off and then stamp on. Or stamp on and then stamp off. So I get a kind of a variety in there. Not sure how that's going to fit for me, but we'll try it, right? Okay, now I'm going to move all these stamp sets or ink pads out of the way because I need to pull out my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and the last thing I need is to get my card or my pieces or my sleeve in all these ink pads. I will mention that in this die set, several of these dies coordinate directly with the stamped images. Okay, the leaves and the flower pots coordinate exactly. But then there's some additional pieces that you can just cut from cardstock. So it's that much more versatile. I need to get these put on one of my magnetic sheets. Now, this is a time, since you're cutting out several things at once, I'm really not sure I'm going to like that. But it never hurts to try something new. And that's how we challenge ourselves and get more creative. And the more creating you do, the more creative you get. I truly believe that. So if you're cutting out several things at once, you know that I'm going to suggest you use some washi tape to hold your dies in place. Just gonna pull off a bunch of these. And when you are doing this, be sure that you're adhering the washi tape to the metal die and then on the outside. of the die. I try to avoid putting the washi tape on the stamped image, or if I'm cutting out from designer series paper, I try to avoid putting it on the actual image that I'm using on my card. And you know what, I didn't think, but I'm not going to be able to die cut that, am I? That would be a fussy cut kind of thing. But I can die cut these at the same time, I believe. Just going to trim some of that excess cardstock away before I add my dies. There it is. And now I can die cut all 4 of those at once. Make sure we have everything in place nicely. Plates lined up. That. And this coordinating flower pot, that. And I think I will go ahead and cut out, so I couldn't decide before, but the more I look at this, the more I'm liking that combination. So I'm going to die cut that one. You can reuse that washi tape, usually several times. You can even keep some washi tape stored at the top when you store your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Are any of you watching houseplant people? Do you enjoy houseplants? I do. In fact, I was thinking earlier this morning that I need to call my niece because she's the person I usually call if I'm going away for an extended period of time and I need somebody to water my garden or water the houseplants. And I will be gone 10 days. So I thought, well, I will call Avery to come over, see if she wants a job. Okay, so now I'm just going to play with these and arrange them on my card front. And you can put them anywhere you like. Actually, I'm going to put this in the center and that one on the end. Okay. Now, for lots of dimension with this Plentiful Plants bundle, I like to use my mini glue dots. Sharon says she loves houseplants, but doesn't have a real green thumb. I like to buy the houseplants that are pretty low maintenance, to be honest. But honestly, I'm like Dana. I have better luck growing things outside. The ones I have inside really are, what would I say? They're really low maintenance. Trust me, it's hard to kill them. And many of them, if I haven't yet, they're probably good for good for a while. But you know, I just feel like it does make the house look alive. Somebody told me it's good for cleaning the air in your home, that sort of thing. A shamrock plant. Okay, now I've had those, but I have not had good luck with those. My favorite won't die plant, I call it, is I can't think of the technical term, but I call it the peace plant. It has the white lily that grows on it. Honest to God, that thing can be drooping and dying, and you give it a drink of water, and it just comes right back. So that's my favorite one. I want to scoot this one over just a little bit. That's closer than I want it here. Now, I will tell you that when you're placing the plants, especially something like this, where the leaves go in all different directions, you want to make sure that you're not going too far beyond the edge of your card base, because you want it to fit nicely into an envelope for mailing. Do you see how using these mini dimensionals, though, just completely changes the look of this card when you have all those pieces and parts popped up? Yes, Karen, the peace plant, it does. You're right. It tells you when it needs to be watered. Oh, Sharon, yes, you got to keep that one going. Here's my card. Now it's time to add some sentiment to it. I think I'll do "to a dear friend" for this one. What's wrong? And for this, I think I've told you this. Oops, that's the wrong color. That's vanilla. I think I've told you this in the past. When I cut, especially that 5 1/4 by 4 inch size, I save the pieces of the neutrals, because you just come up with these nice little strips, and it's perfect for stamping a sentiment like this. And I think I'm going to stamp this sentiment in... Actually, I think I'm going to stamp it in the cinnamon cider. Snip off that left edge. And then I'm just going to cut an angle. We have some fun punches that can cut different ends for you, a banner cut and such. But this is a kind of a fun way, if you don't have those, or just you want to change things up, this is a fun way. Just cut an angle on each side. That way too, you don't have to worry about cutting them exactly straight. Oh, Sharon, it does look like a basketball hoop. Oh, you have to try that and show us. I would love to see what you do with that, using it as a basketball hoop. Now, remember, when you adhere this, you need to make sure that it's only on that first flap. So we're just going to use a small amount of adhesive. In fact, I'm going to use some of my multi-purpose glue. So here's my, oops, I'm going to scoot that over so it looks a little bit more centered on the card front when it's closed. I think that's pretty good. To a dear friend, and I'm just going to stamp thank you inside. And there is our completed card. To a dear friend, thank you. And then whoever gets this will just obviously be so intrigued by it, they'll want to stand it up and show it to everybody who comes their way. Let me show you 2 more cards I made with this suite. Okay, this is very similar. Here I stamped 2 sentiments. Thank you so very much. And I used 2 different colors of green. The evergreen, evening evergreen, and just jade. But that's kind of fun to do if you're combining sentiments. Now I'll tell you on these 2 plants were actually fussy cut. I know some of you like fussy cut. At times it can feel relaxing. Some of you detest fussy cut, and I understand that as well. That's why this suite is great for everybody, because it gives you these beautiful images to fussy cut. But then those of you that don't like fussy cutting, we have those wonderful dies to coordinate with our stamps and our designer series papers. But I just thought this was kind of fun. And you know what? You don't have to do perfect die cutting. You could even just cut a rectangle like this. You could just cut a rectangle around that, or cut an oval around this. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. And then the last one I did is this one. You touched my heart. Thank you. And this is using that double oval punch that we have. And then all of the pots and the plants here were also die cut from designer series paper. Let me pull that out to show you as well. Well, right here and right here. And you have dies in the set that cut out these 3. But this one would be very easy to cut out as well. I might cut off the handles, but that would be easy to cut out. And then your die collection will also cut out these 3 images on here. But again, using some of these different ones, you can make that work too with some fussy cutting. I love that brick wall too, Marion. Oh, I love it. I also thought many of these prints on the back, oh, where is it? The true brick walls especially, this would be great to use with the welcoming window bundle. I also thought this would be fun to use at Christmas time, like make a fireplace with Santa or the Christmas tree. So you can do so many fun things with those brick patterns. So those are my 3 cards. Again, you can make 2 cards, 2 of these fun fold cards from 1 piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. You start with 5.5 by 12-inch pieces of cardstock. I will have later this week, this will be a blog post, and I will have all the dimensions for the cardstock cutting, scoring, as well as cutting the different layers of the cardstock and designer series paper to fit on your card base. Alrighty. So who would like to win this card? One of you dear friends, dear Stampin' friends. Please comment throughout. Share this video. I would appreciate it so much. And later today, I'll choose a winner and get this off in the mail to you. I agree, Dana. Such great versatility with this suite. And I also think it makes great masculine cards. They don't have to be feminine or masculine. I think it covers lots of ages, different occasions, and even great note cards. So I will look forward to working with this a lot more and designing with it. And I do plan to, at some point in the next few months, do a class to go with that. A final reminder, or two reminders, a couple of reminders. Tomorrow is the last day to register for my hand-penned cards class to go. It's $64. You get the hand-penned bundle, and you get everything you need to make 8 cards, 8 different cards. What it is 4 designs, 4 card layouts, and I'm giving you 2 different cards with the same layout. Did something different with this class. And then these last 2 are actually fun fold cards using my very favorite fun fold, the Joy Fold card. So again, you see it's the same layout, but 2 different cards. So the last day to sign up for that is tomorrow, May 11th. Today, I have just announced by email and by blog post my newest class to go. And this one features the Flowers of Friendship stamp set along with this bundle. So the Flowers of Friendship bundle is the stamp set and this coordinating flowers and leaves die. So all of the cards feature that. And I've kept the colors to a minimum on this. I'm using Flirty Flamingo and Old Olive. So I will do the die cutting, I'll do the dry embossing, you'll do the stamping and the punching at home. So this class to go is $58. It includes the stamp set and the punch. It includes a full pack of pearls. And then you'll get everything you need to make 8 cards, 2 each of the 4 designs. Note that 2 of these are fun fold cards. All right, 2 of these are fun fold cards. This one is an easel card, and it has been so popular. People have asked me to make more of these, so I thought, why not put it into a class? All right, and of course, with our new catalog, we have the Connect, Create, and Collect promotion going on. Qualifying orders of $250 or more, you'll get an additional $25 in Stampin' Rewards. So $250 order, you get 50 Stampin' Rewards this month and through June 14th. Now, if you don't want to spend $250 yourself, I completely understand. But you can still get that $50 of Stampin' Rewards by hosting a Stampin' Up! Party with me. And it can be virtual. I've had them. They're very successful. And you would be the host and you would collect the Stampin' Rewards. So a great way for you to get some free product and cross off some things on your wish list. The other promotion we have going on right now through May 31st only is our Join Plus promotion. Our typical joining promotion is $99 plus tax. The starter kit ships free, and with that you choose $125 of product. But this month only, you get to choose $155 of product. Stampin' Up! Is giving an extra $30 in product to anybody that joins our community this month. So if you're interested in either of those, I'd love to help you get some free product and enjoy some great deals. So please let me know. Have a great, oh, I was going to mention one more thing. Marion said she had a hard time finding me this morning, and this is my typical schedule on Mondays and Fridays in my VIP group. On Wednesday evenings, I'm on my business page. I think once I come back from my trip, which let's see is the 24th, I come back. I think I'm going to change it and do all of them on my business page and then share them to my VIP group. That way you're always going to one or the other and you should be able to find me. Typically, whichever one I go to, I share to the other, but I think I'll make that change and it just might be a little bit easier for everybody that way. So I appreciate your input, and that change will be coming soon. I'm going to leave things in place this week. And then once I get back from my trip, I will then make the change. Alrighty. Have a great Monday. The sun is shining today. It's chilly, but the rain and the clouds have moved on in central Ohio. And I'm looking forward to enjoying the sunshine later this afternoon as I mow my lawn. So I'll see you back here on Wednesday. I'm hoping on Friday, my upline is going to be here because she's the person I'm taking on the trip with me this year. So she's going to be here stamping, and I think she'll be in time to do a Facebook Live with me on Friday. She doesn't know that yet, but I know she'll jump on board. Have a great Monday. Bye-bye.